All right. Welcome in, everybody, to the first episode of the Coach's Corner podcast. I'm your host, Tanner Beasley. I'm here with our guest today, the head softball coach at Banks County High School, Coach Carroll. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Doing good. So,
thanks for having me.
yes, sir. I've got some questions set up for you today about the season that's already started and then kind of looking ahead, our hopes for the future for the team.
Okay.
So, obviously, last year you had a very, very solid season. You guys made a deep run in the playoffs, making it to the Final Four, and then obviously suffering a tough loss there. But there's obviously a bunch of good things that can come out of that, right? You got to look forward to this year. How do you see that transferring over to this year? Do you feel like we're coming back stronger? You feel like we've got a really good group again this year, I'm sure?
I've been very blessed and fortunate to have a wonderful set of kids, first and foremost. And I think last year they bought in, and, I mean, that was evident that, the run that we made, we probably had the fewest amount of people on our team in Columbus, but they bought in, and they were united. And, our motto is Mudita, which means having vicarious joy in someone else's success. And so for even those who played sporadically or weren't necessarily starters, I mean, you could see the joy in their faces when their teammates were having success. And then when their number was called, same thing. It was reciprocated throughout the whole dugout and the whole team. And it's a beautiful thing, man. And last year, like you said, I mean, we had a good run. We had a good team and everything, but I think it done nothing but made us hungry. We had a wonderful summer, had a great turnout, and, the kids are working every single day. Feels like it's 497 degrees outside, but they're still coming in, working, not complaining. They're going to weight training every day. Huge compliment to Coach Brian with his weight training program.
He does an excellent job.
He has helped shape our team tremendously, and they're faster, they're stronger, and we definitely see results of that.
Yes. And this season has started off well, obviously. I mean, you guys haven't lost, have you?
We're 6-1. We suffered our loss to a top 10 team to Pierce County. We lost that game 4-0. But we won last night 7-2 against Hart. We beat Hart Tuesday 10-0 at Hart. We've played some really good teams in Elka and Pierce and Jefferson. Yeah. We're fortunate to be on the winning side of the majority of those, but yeah, I mean we got off to a great start. The girls, like I said, man, I mean they're bought in. It's a wonderful thing when I can hear specific people and really everybody in the dugout. Somebody gets out or does this or does that, like you hear them picking them up. Yeah. And being there for them, meeting them on the top step, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah.
So, obviously, before you got games, you have practices.
Right.
What does a normal practice look like for your softball team?
Well, I mean, honestly, in the summertime, we go June and July, and June's more just reps. July, we start implementing summer games and install.
Yeah.
So July is when you'll see, well, let me just go over what we do at practice. A typical practice is we do this thing called over the shoulders, and it seems like we're running go routes in football, and it seems like, why are we doing this? But the whole point is there's generally going to be a play or two in the game where you're going to have to dead sprint go, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't be complacent and crab walk and all that. Like, you have to turn and go. And so we do that every day. Helps get our blood going. And then we get into our stretch and agility routine. Coach Davis has done a really good job with that. He's in charge of that, and he's done great. And then we go into EDDs, which means everyday drills. The outfielders go with our outfield coach, Coach Jones. Infielders go with our infield coach, Coach Davis. And our catchers go with Coach Cooper. And they do their specific everyday drills for about 10 minutes that each coach has designed for them. If pitchers got to work on certain things that day for that 10 minutes, working on spins or what have you, they'll go with Coach Denton, our pitching coach, and then we'll move from there. And I'm big on fundamentals, and I'm big on, I don't care if you're 35 years old or 5 years old. I think it's important to work on relays.
Yes.
So we'll go into relays, we'll go into rundowns, and we'll do that until we perfect it. And then, water break, and then we'll go into typically an indie period where, again, it's like a bigger session of EDD drills. So outfield will go with Coach Jones, infield with Coach Davis, catchers with Coach Cooper, and then Coach Denton will work with who she feels that she needs to work with that day for about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll have another water break. Sometimes we'll do team defense. Sometimes we'll go straight into hitting. Team D usually looks like first and thirds, bunt coverages. We'll do communication. We do a lot of base running. We'll do that together with Team D. And then we go and then slap D, and then we'll go until we perfect it, honestly. And then a lot of times, because we do have a beautiful facility and we're very fortunate to have, we'll go inside and we'll work on specific things. Typically, we'll have the machine going, and then we'll have a tee station going, and we'll have a front toss station going, and we'll have a bunt station. And each coach has designed a station where they are working hands-on, small groups, a lot like teaching, where they're working on specific things with specific people, and it has been very prosperous for us. So that's a typical day for us.
Seems very organized, and that's obviously key. You build structure around a team, and it's obviously going to show results when you go out there.
That's right. That's right. And like today, for example, we got 4 games this week. We played 2. We got 2 tomorrow. Today's Friday. I try to go light on Friday, especially when we play the day before. Yeah. And I want our kids to go and support the football team as they should on a Friday night, because, you being in high school, Friday night lights, that's a big deal, right?
Yes, sir.
And so today what we'll do is outfield for 30 minutes. They'll go in the cage with 2 coaches, and we'll work on specific things, while infield's on the field, and we'll work on mass fungo. We'll work on all the things that I just kind of reiterated, and then we'll flip-flop, and then we'll go inside. Infield will go inside, outfield outside, and we'll just work on specific things to try to get them out of there. But the thing is we can't get complacent, and we can't, even though it's a light day, it's intense, and that hour-long practice that we have is 100 miles an hour.
Yes. So, looking ahead, you obviously don't want to get caught looking ahead, looking over teams, but you guys have a very good chance to yet again make it far in the playoffs. You guys last year only lost 1 senior who was a starter, but you've obviously got new kids coming in from grade. You have kids moving schools. So do you feel like the talent is replenished just as much as what it was last year? You feel like you've got a very good chance again?
I think if we keep the main thing, and we look one game at a time, and we don't look ahead in the future, and we keep perfecting our craft, I think we'll be difficult to beat.
Yes.
Really, the main thing is I try not to let the kids worry about the other team. I do that, and I try to make them, let's perfect us, because if we perfect us, I'll game plan. Let me do that. Let my coaches do that. We'll tell you what to do, what not to do, scouting reports and all that good stuff. I don't want to give them an overload of information and make them think. I want them to react, right, and just play. Let me do the thinking, and y'all play. And they do a really good job of that. So that's really where we're at, man. And we got a wonderful pitching staff. Our lineup's really deep, and our kids are just really good, man. From top to bottom, the whole program, we're very fortunate, and we're very fortunate to have even better kids.
Yes.
So,
all right, now I'm going to get into some more personal questions.
Okay.
Why did you get into coaching?
That gave me chills, man. I was a biology student in college, and then honestly, man, I just felt like the good Lord said, you need to do something else. Yeah. And so I got into education, and just honestly try to listen to him and follow that path. And then I got my undergrad, went to my alma mater of Jackson High School. What's actually funny is I got offered to coach football, right?
Yeah.
I got offered to coach football, and the athletic director at the time told me, he said, "You make a lot more money coaching football than softball."
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, "I think my services would be better fit for softball, having played baseball as long as I did and whatnot. And I think I'd be a better help to the whole program, the school, and all that, the community in softball." And so he said, okay. And so I, got on the staff there, went to the playoffs, and then I had so much fun doing it. Like it's a fast-paced game. It's fun.
Yeah.
The girls balled in there, and second year we go to Columbus, the Elite Eight. Third year we go to the state championship game.
Yeah.
Lost a heartbreaker there, and then in year 4 was my first year here.
Yeah.
And I just, honestly, I felt like this is where God wanted me to be, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So why do you like coaching so much?
Because I really feel like I was put on this earth to serve and to lead, and again, I want to be obedient, and I want to just, honestly, if I can use this game as a vessel to help make kids better, not just better athletes, but better people, then I've done my job. Winning's great. Everybody wants championships. Everybody wants to win. Don't get me wrong, I do too. But if you can leave the program a better student, a better human being, a better insert, whatever here, then I feel like I've done my job. And so I just, honestly, I just want to help build and support and help grow as much as I can.
Yes, sir. All right, one last question. What do you look for in your ideal athlete, your ideal player on your team?
Number one, you got to be coachable. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I mean, if you watch the Braves, you watch Ozzie Albies, you watch Austin Riley, like they're doing EDDs every day, right? Yes. And they're being coachable. They're professionals getting paid millions of dollars, but yet they're perfecting their craft and they're being coachable. Even above that, number one, a good student, and just overall a good person. Before we even get into the side of, like physical traits, as in like what you could do hitting and fielding and all that. Like, are you a good person? Are you coachable? Are you doing what you're supposed to in the classroom first and foremost? Are you a supportive teammate? And then I look at, like what are you like doing on the field? As long as you're contributing to the team, then again, that could be being a good teammate. Yeah. That's what I look for. Each position has its own characteristic trait, but I always say your best ability is your availability. If you say I'm a catcher only, or I'm a pitcher only, or I'm a this only, like
you limit yourself.
Yeah, you're limited. You're exactly right. You're limiting yourself, and what we're fortunate to have people playing positions that they've probably never played in their entire life. But they're such good athletes and they're such good team players that they say yes, sir, and they do it, and it helps the program. And that's what I look for.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. This was your first episode of the Coach's Corner podcast. We will see you guys later.